All right. What do we explain? We explained last time that Abraham sent his servant Eliezer to make a wedding to find a bride for his son Yitzchak. Now, if this was just a history class, so we'd say, okay, that's what happened. It's just accurately telling what happened. It says before that Abraham was old, maybe he couldn't go. But it's not just a history class. It's written in the Torah. And the Torah, in addition to be history, is it teaches us a very important lesson in life. And maybe we can say the other way around, that the main thing of the Torah is to teach us lessons in life. And in addition, it's also history. Okay, what is the lesson that's coming to teach us here that Abraham sent Eliezer to make this wedding? Just one moment, let me turn off this thing. What's the point? So it says, well, listen, there's probably some sort of a spiritual lesson to learn from it. And, let's go on. So, no, 1 second. There's paragraph after paragraph talking about all the details of what occurred to Eliezer when he went to find this bride for Yitzchak. Paragraph after paragraph. What he was thinking, what he said to himself, what actually happened. Then it did happen, and then he told the story over again and repeated it over again. So why all this detail in this sending of the servant of Abraham? What's so important about this sending? So of course, from here we're going to learn the importance of what's such a shliach, an emissary. And just to remind everyone, the Rebbe here is speaking to the Congress, the convention of his emissaries, his Shluchim in the whole world, right? There's a Chabad house in London, a Chabad house in Melbourne, there's a Chabad house in Chicago, there's a Chabad house everywhere. Almost everywhere where there's Jews, there's Chabad houses, and the people who run the Chabad houses are called the Shluchim, his emissaries. In addition to that there's also schools all over, and there's also institutions for that, and those are all his shluchim that the Rebbe sent. There's also women shluchot that he sent. So the Rebbe here is speaking to all of them, and he's saying there's a tremendous lesson that you can learn every moment of your being from this. In fact, this is your being. This is the whole reason that you're a shliach, not just that you can have a job or an income or do kiruv work. Kiruv work is wonderful, but why? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of the whole business? Why? Right? You makar of Jews to Judaism, so we can make our institutions bigger and we can make ourselves, stronger. We can feel successful. Is that the reason why, or is there something much deeper? So the Rebbe is going to say yes. Listen to this. Let's explain this, but penimis inyanim, the soul of this whole business. Now, the panemius means something that's eternal. It just doesn't depend on one particular person. It's a thing that's eternal for all humanity for all time. The Lakuti Torah, in the book of the first Rebbe of Chabad, in the end, Mavo'er Admor Zaken, the Alter Rebbe explains in Nesu Yitzchak for Rivka, that the marriage of Yitzchak and Rivka, right? Yitzchak, Eliezer went and he found a bride for Yitzchak. Who did he find? Rivka. The marriage between Yitzchak and Rivka, Haim Inyan Hachi Klali, they are the most general and important topics in the Torah, Ubakal Seder Ishtalshos, and in the whole entire creation. Mishakef, which this reflects or includes as klalos Avodat Adam, the whole reason why human beings are created, why there's such a thing as the Jewish people, what is the message of the Jewish people, what were we Jewish people chosen for? We're chosen to tell the world something, to teach the world, to fix up the whole entire world. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? What's the goal? Yichud Ma and Ban. The unity of Ma and Ban. What's that mean? As we said before here, remember we did this yesterday, we did this thing here. We have this thing. I still have that. There we go. Here. If you add all these numbers together, these numbers, Yud is 10, Vav Dalet is another 10, that's 20. Hey is 5, another 5, that's another 10. So 20 and 10 is 30. And Vav is 2 Vavs is 12, so we have 42. And Hey is another 10, so that comes out to be 42. 52, I'm sorry, 50. Let's do it again. 20, 30, 42, 52. That's the name Ban. That's Ban. Here we go, 52. One of the names of God. What is Ma? If you fill up these letters, not like we did here. If you put a Aleph over here, put an Aleph over here between here, and an Aleph over here between here. So that comes out to be the numerical value of 45. Want to see? Here's, I have to do reverse over. This is 20. Here's a hey and a hey, hey and a hey. That's 30. 30, right? 30. An Aleph, 31, 32. An Aleph over here, 33. And 2 Vavs is 12. 6 and 6, 12. That comes out to be 45. So if you fill it up, the different ways of filling in the names. What do we have to fill the names of God? These are different aspects of godliness. Generally speaking, Ban refers to the godliness which is in the world, the creation which is concealed, and Ma is the godliness which is in the spiritual worlds, which is revealed. And our job is to bring the godliness, the revealed godliness, which is revealed in the spiritual worlds, which that's this aspect of Ma, the name of God, which is called Ma 45, which that is symbolized, personified in Yitzchak, to bring the spiritual and reveal it into Ban, which is Rivka. That's the physical world. So bring the spiritual revealed in the physical. That's the whole idea of creation. Why did God create the world? He created the world so that man would fix it up. What was man supposed to have done? Adam, he was supposed to have brought the spiritual into the physical. What does that mean? Let's say, just practically speaking. What does it mean bringing the spiritual into the physical? Spiritually, you have a chance to get mad. Somebody cuts you off. You get mad, and justly so. You get mad, right? I'm going to get that guy. I'm going to do this. Right? Suddenly you think to yourself, 1 second, God is creating the whole world. God is directing the whole world. God is creating me. God is creating that person who just cut me off. God wanted everything that just happened to happen. Now, how am I supposed to react? How am I supposed to react? What does it say in the Torah? On one hand, you can say, listen, it says in the Torah that you're not supposed to get mad. You're not supposed to get mad. A person that gets angry, it says he's like worshiping idols. It's forbidden for a person to get mad. You're not supposed to get mad, even if you're justified to get mad. You're not supposed to get mad, except in really extenuating circumstances. You're supposed to get mad, right? If it gets you active to do a commandment or something like that, right? To protect a country, to protect yourself. But sometimes you can get mad, and even then, it's not just not getting mad. You're just doing what God wants. Right? You're not supposed to get mad, but I want to get mad. That guy cut me off, right? He cut me off. Okay, so here it is. Ban is this world. Ma is what's right. Spiritual. Who is the boss over here? Me or God? Me or God? Who's the boss? right? So therefore, that's making, if I say God is the boss, I'm not going to get mad. I'll roll down my window and I'll tell the person, you just cut me off. You almost killed me. God bless you, my friend. Try not to do it to somebody else. Right? Something like that. If you can do that, then Ma has united with Ban. This world has been used the way God wants the world to be used. Hopefully, this person won't make a mistake again. That's the way it's supposed to be. There are times, of course, when what God wants, there's times where you have to make war, according to the Torah. There's times you have to make war. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be angry or mad at the enemy. There's just a commandment to kill the enemy. He's endangering your life. Right? That's uniting Mamba, to use the world only for what God wants. Hainu, namely, Hayichud Shel, Hanashama, the soul with the body. Ma and Ban shall call Echad in each and every one of the Jews. Right? Your soul is your values, your conscience, your connection to the Creator. Simple language, doing what the Torah wants with the world, and not doing what I want with the world, because I'm part of the world. So if I do what I want, so it ends up that all there is world. There's no God. But if I do what the Torah wants in the world, then that's putting Ma, the soul, into the body. Until Shlemos Yichud, until the total unity and the marriage between the Jewish people, souls and bodies, and God. The Jewish people, that's the bride. We're the physical. That's why it's so important that the Jewish people have the land of Israel. Right? All these arguments that are coming out, we were here first with it. Those are nice. Okay, you can have those arguments, but that's not at all the reason. And that's not the reason that they hate us. They don't hate us because they want this particular part of land. It's theirs, and there's from time immemorial. And what they weren't here from time immemorial, the whole thing is a bluff. It's not really so, but doesn't make any difference. The reason we have to have the land of Israel is because it's a physical part of this world that God promised us, and God wants to be revealed in this physical world. Just like God chose the Jewish people, the physical body, God wants to be in the physical world. But it's up to our choice. We have to choose. We have to make the right choices, not like Adam did. And when we do, then Jews and God are totally one. Kafisha say, yeah, like it will be in the future redemption. Gula mitit v'shlema. That's what it means that the Jews are sons of God. Every Jew is the son of God. Right? And that you come out and say only one Jew is the son of God. This is a very major lie, and I did say a force of destruction of the Jewish people. That we're supposed to reveal that all the Jews are sons of God, namely what? And the whole world eventually becomes a possession of God. We see God in the world. After we begin all this, first of all, there has to be an engagement. What's the engagement of the marriage of the Jewish people with God is going to be with Moshiach, when it's going to be revealed that every single Jew is the son of God, and the land of Israel is holy. Then it's going to be the marriage. What's the marriage? The marriage is when God, sorry. That's the marriage. And what is there has to be an engagement. What's the engagement? The engagement was in Mount Sinai. I'm sorry, I got confused. When God gave the Torah on Mount Sinai, that was the engagement party. God showed us that we are his sons, his servants, his friends, his creations, the whole world, as soldiers, the whole world depends on the Jewish people. That was the giving of the Torah. That's what he showed us, but he didn't complete it. Giving of the Torah, that was just the engagement party. Then now we have to actually do it. We have to work on it until we can consummate the wedding. When's the wedding going to be consummated? That's Mashiach. Then Mashiach is going to show clearly that every Jew is the son of God. Going to show clearly the land of Israel is God's place, clearly. That this is the whole service of man. The Kiyum Torah, but mitzvahs, and doing the Torah and the commandments, but Olam Hazeh, in this physical world. Yichud Ma'an Ban. So that's what it means the Jewish people are chosen, and that's what it means the land of Israel is called the chosen land, right? The promised land, you want to call it. Because the idea is when were the Jewish people chosen? They were chosen in Mount Sinai. And when were they? The land of Israel was chosen, right? It was chosen officially at Mount Sinai. Everything happened at Mount Sinai, even though all these things happened with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but it was finalized in a whole different way at Mount Sinai. And that's when it was set up. That was the engagement, when the Jewish people became the groom, and the whole entire world became the bride, or more exactly, God became the groom, and the Jewish people and the world became the bride. Chirush shel Matan Torah, the whole novelty of the giving of the Torah is expressed only in this. Sha'az, then Nizbatla, that was negated, Hagazera, the decree, Shefridu, which divided between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Before the Torah was given, if you wanted to be spiritual, you had to go up. You had to leave the world. Like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they had to leave the world. They have to be far away. It says they were all shepherds. They had to be distant. Ruchnis and Gashmis, the physical and the spiritual worlds were separate. Ma and Ban were separate. As then Nitan Koach, but in Mount Sinai there was given the power, Lachaber, to join, Ulached, and to unify the physical with the spiritual. Shahaguf Agashmi, that the physical body, Davar Agashmi, and the physical world, Yaseh Kadosh, will become holy. Until Lafatzat Shel Kedusha, till spreading out holiness, Shlemos Yichud Zeh, the completion of this unity of Ma and Ban. But Tachlis Shlemos, in the ultimate completion, the Gili in a revealed way, the Yeh Geula Emitit, then there will be a true redemption, and Shlema, a complete and a total redemption of the whole entire of the Jewish people and the whole entire world. As Yen Nekevas Soveves Gever, then we'll realize that it says that the Nekevas Soveves Gever, this is a sentence in 63 in Jeremiah. We'll see that the feminine is higher than the masculine. What is the feminine? This world. The physical world we'll see is higher than any spiritual levels that can possibly be. That's what we're learning in the Torah, or that it's better one moment of doing good deeds in this world than all of the spiritual levels you can possibly. When is this going to be revealed? It says the idea of Moshiach. Moshiach is going to reveal the uniqueness, the holiness, the highness, the amazing blessedness of this physical world. Every rock, every street, every person, every plant. And that's what the Jewish people were chosen for, to reveal God in the world. God is creating the whole business, right? God is creating it. It's not like the religious people say that God created the world. The argument is, who created the world 70 billion years ago? Was it God? We're talking about the God creating it right now. God is creating every detail right now, and we don't see it. We don't feel it. Why? Because the Jews are supposed to reveal it. And when was this whole business begun? This unification between the spiritual and the physical, between God and the Creator and the creation. This was begun with Yitzchak and Rivka. The whole lead, that gives birth. Then when Yitzchak and Rivka were married, that enabled them to give birth, to give birth. That's what the purpose of a marriage is. V'gam told the Sam Shel Tzadikim, it says that the offspring of righteous people is their good deeds that they do. Also giving birth, and boim kol ben Israel, that the Jewish people will come ad sof kol hadoros, to the end of all generations. All the good deeds that were done by all the Jewish people since these 3,300 plus years since the Torah was given are eternal. And the marriage, all this will be revealed. That's what Mashiach is supposed to do. I hope you say, according to this movement, we can understand Shashlicha Shal Eliezer, that the purpose of Eliezer, that he was, the job that he was given, Hashlichas Rishona Ketub b'Torah, this is the first this is the first emissary that was talked about in the Torah. Nitna was given the koach. This gave the power. The Paul et avodah is not just that it told a story that it's possible. This gives personally, intimately, the power to every single person, the Jews first, every single Jew to unite Ma and Ban, to unite God with the world. Ba'avodat Hashem and serving God. Hechil, beginning in the giving of the Torah. Okay, so here, what's the Rebbe saying? He's trying to remind us that the essence of the Jewish people is that we're servants. The essence of the Jewish people is to be servants. The reason the land of Israel was given to us was so that we can serve God. It's nice to go to the beach and to all these other things, but the idea of the land of Israel is to serve God. So if you want to go to the beach, it should be for your health, for your whatever. It should be the men and women for sure are separate, and everybody should be dressed in sort of a semi-modest way or a totally modest way, whatever it is. But you want to have a good time, but it's according to the Torah. That's the purpose of the land of Israel, the purpose of the whole world, is to serve the Creator. Why? Because there really is nothing other than the Creator. That's all there is. Misham, from there, is drawn down to all of the times and all the places. From the land of Israel, our service here will be drawn to all the times and all of the places in the world. Until the whole world is freed from ignorance and negativity. We can say that is the whole idea why Abraham did this, by this marriage between Yitzchak and Rivka. Why didn't he do it himself, Abraham, if it's so important? Why did he have to send Eliezer, his servant? This teaches us, the Mash Omer, like it says, Ebed Avram Anochi, that Eliezer said, I am the servant of Abraham. It's known, Avram, that in Abraham, he began the preparation for the giving of the Torah. It says that there was 2,000 years of Torah, 2,000 years of confusion, 2,000 years of Torah, and 2,000 years of Mashiach. The 2,000 years of confusion, that was until Abraham. The 2,000 years of Torah was from Abraham until the destruction of the temple. The 2,000 years of Mashiach is from the destruction of the temple until right now. How is this the 2,000 years of Mashiach? We'll see. But this is the idea of what Mashiach is supposed to do: gather all the Jews together, strengthen Torah and the commandments, and show that this world is higher than any of the heavens. Zeu, that's the remez, the hint. Eved Avram Anochi, that's what it means that when Eliezer said, they asked Eliezer, who are you? He said, Eved, my whole existence, my whole being is just that I'm a servant of Abraham. He didn't say what his name was. He didn't say where he came. He said, I am a servant of Abraham. That's me. You're looking at me, you're looking at Abraham. That what he said, that I am a servant of Abraham. Eliezer has the power, the all at Yichud, he had the power to unify this Ma and Ban. Nesui Yitzchak Rivka. The marriage of Yitzchak and Rivka. Gam or Be'ikr, mainly in the preparation of Tavdun et Elokim, be servants of God on this mountain. Hagilu shel Anochi, that I am the essence of God. I was given in Mount Sinai. So what's the Rebbe saying to the Shluchim over here? Saying that all he wants is servants. That's what the Rebbe wants. The Rebbe does not want leaders. The Rebbe does not want bosses. If you have to be a leader, you be a leader. If you have to be a boss, you be a boss. If you have to be the president of the United States, be the president. If that's what you have to do in order to do what the Rebbe wants, then that's what you should do. But everything you do and your whole existence, your whole being, from head to toe, from morning to night, including the night before and the day after, is you're a servant. That's the essence of what a shliach is. And that should be the message and the goal and the voice that should be ringing in the head of every single Jew. I am a servant. I am a servant of Abraham. In our generation, Abraham is the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That's what should be ringing in every, at least that's what the Rebbe said over here clearly to all of his emissaries. But, so in other words, why did Abraham send Eliezer? Because Abraham didn't want to do it alone. Abraham wanted that everyone in the world should partake of this job and this purpose of uniting the creator with the creation, the spiritual with the physical, truth with falseness. We still have to explain something. According to this, that the whole, that which we said, that the Torah lengthened out and it came in such big detail about Eliezer is because Yitzchak and Rivka, because Yitzchak and Rivka, this shows on such a general important thing, and this that the Torah takes so many paragraphs. It should be mainly talking about Yitzchak and Rivka. Good, okay. So what's the point of our being shliachs, of our being emissaries of the Rebbe? What's the point of our being emissaries to bring the future redemption? Is the future redemption. The future redemption is the marriage. That's the main thing. The main thing is the marriage. And in fact, the Torah does not talk that much about the marriage of Yitzchak and Rivka at all. The main thing it talks about is Eliezer. Why does it spend so much time about Eliezer? It should have spent more time about Yitzchak and Rivka, not about this mission and the deeds of Eliezer as a preparation for uniting Ma'aban. Madua, why Baricha Satorah? Why does the Torah lengthen out so much about the shlichus? How can Abraham? How it is that Abraham made Eliezer swear, and he commanded him all these little details, where to go, and how Eliezer did, etc. And how he thought, and he said, and he did, and he went, and Rivka came out, and she did, and she said, and then repeated it over. Why so much? Why repeat this? It should have said, the Torah just should have said very clearly that Abraham wanted to marry Rivka. He sent his servant Eliezer to do it, and he did it. That's all. Eliezer went, and he came back, and that's it. Why do you have to have all this between he went and he came back, all these paragraphs of explanation? Just say he went and he came back with the bride. That's all. Why all the paragraphs between he went and he came back? Why so much? Because the Torah says it can't be a mistake. It must be telling us a very deep lesson. And what is the lesson? Eliezer, that this mission that Eliezer went on to unite Yitzchak and Rivka, this must be very important. Not just the goal, but also the means must be relevant to the etzem and inyan shel Yehud, of the unity of Ma'avaban. In other words, bringing Mashiach is of course important, but the means, every detail that we do in order to bring Mashiach, is some way even more important. How so? Yishlom, we can say, Echad Abirim, is that one of the explanations in this is, and we're going to have to do this a little bit later, one of the explanations is Mizeh movement. We can understand that Eliezer must be. Oh, what did I do? I skipped it. According to this, we can understand. What did I do over here? 1 second. I skipped over here. Yes. Mizeh gufa. You from this can be understood. Sheshlichus, that the going of Eliezer, what must be very important of Ma'aban, and we can say one of the explanations is, why are the means so important? Why? According to this, we can now understand the inner reason that Eliezer, he was the one that Abraham sent. He sent as a shliach, as a what do you say, an emissary, a total representative, like the hand of Abraham. And he wasn't just a shadchan. He wasn't just like a UPS or a whatever it is, a broker. He wasn't just a broker. Shekain, shekadei lifol, because in order to do the proper work, in order to bring this unity of God and the world, ma and ban, is we have to be, first of all by the person who's doing it. That he should be something in himself, and his existence should be negated to the person who sent him. This is only an emissary. An emissary is two things that are opposites. A person who sells houses, right? What do they call it? He sells. There's a word for it. Why is it all of a sudden I'm forgetting words? Anyway, a broker. He's the middleman, right? He sells houses or he sells cars, right? Sells stocks. So it's not really so important the personality of this person that's selling. It's just important that he sells you a good house or a good stock or a good car, and his personal life is not any of your business. He has a job to do something. Or let's say the UPS driver that the company sends out the mix master that you just bought, and the UPS driver, he delivers it. Right? That's all. That's what's called a broker or a middleman. That's good, but as far as Yitzchak and Rivka goes, it's not good. As far as fixing up the world, it doesn't work that way. You can't just do Torah and the commandments and whatever you're supposed to do and just do it cold and think that's going to bring Mashiach. It doesn't exactly work that way. We have to be a shliach. What's a shliach? A shliach is two opposites. A lovely yot metziud nefredet, he has to be a separate entity in himself. Bar dat, that he makes up his own mind. And on the same time, he has to be totally negated to the one who sends him. La'akir shu shliach shelo, and to recognize that he's his emissary. V'lo l'shanot miratzon dat mashalech, and he cannot change his mission. If he changes it, then he's not the one who sent him. The whole purpose why he's doing it is only to do his purpose. Okay, let me just say this quickly, and then we're going to stop here. When Moses took the Jews out of Egypt, so only 1/5 left. It said 4/5 didn't want to leave. They died in the plague of darkness. Why didn't they leave? Why didn't they want? Because they didn't want to leave. Why didn't they want to leave? They had all sorts of reasons why. Whatever, it was not important why, but the fact is they didn't want to leave. They didn't want to leave. The whole novelty of Mashiach is that everyone's going to want to leave the exile. Okay, leaving Egypt was not so difficult. It was very clear where Egypt is and where Egypt is not. They just left they got the place called Piachirot. As soon as they left that, then they were free. They were free. Mashiach taking us now out of our Egypt is our own ego, the bad side, our selfishness. And that's not, the boundaries are not so clear. The boundaries are not so clear. It's up to us that we have to decide. We have to make our own decisions. The going out of the Jews and the world in the future redemption is going to depend on our free will, our choice. But on the other hand, we have to choose the truth. There is such a thing as truth, and we have to choose the truth, like Abraham did. Abraham chose to do what God wanted. He chose. The same thing, every human being in the world is going to choose from his own free will to do what's right, to listen to the godly voice inside of him, to do what it says in the Torah. and not how the Torah has been distorted and tricked and things. People will understand, is this really all these other religions? Is this really the truth? Is this really are the rabbis really wrong? Let's see what the rabbis have to say. People will start to look and to see on their own. That's the point. So everyone is going to become an emissary of the Creator. On one hand, an emissary is a person that he has the goal, his mission is clearly in front of him. But on the other hand, he uses his own free will to get to that. And everyone has their own challenges and their own unique problems. And in some ways, the way that you solve your own unique problems and your own challenges and bring out your own potential and deal with your own obstacles, in some ways, that's the whole name of the game. That's the whole purpose of the future redemption, is to bring out the good that's inside of us and to ignore the bad which is in the world and inside of us. And that means we have to be shluchim. Every person has to be himself an emissary of God. On one hand, the individual dealing with his own problems and utilizing his own unique personality and potential. But on the other hand, everybody has to totally be surrendered to the goal, to the same goal, revealing God in the world according to the Torah. As we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow. Someone had a question? Let's go here. All right, let us now do the Yom Yom. That's not what I wanted. Okay. I lost this thing. Here we go. Some over there. I got blunged over here. Here we go. All right. Yes. We have to do this over here. I stopped the recording.